Everybody. This is Lisa from Prims on Greenway. This is Flosstube number 17. My channel is generally about cross stitch, but lately I've been delving into some other needle arts, including wool applique and quilting. So I'm hoping to enjoy or to present to you a variety of things, and I'm hoping you'll enjoy it. I do have a list here in front of me, so I will be referencing my list so I don't forget anything. And as you can see on my cutting table, I am piled high with all sorts of things I'd like to share with you today. So first I'd like to thank Gail, my good friend from Syracuse. This past weekend she came over and we had a Stitchy day. It was so much fun. She brought a wonderful project for me that I couldn't wait to start, and I will be showing that to you later. We were supposed to do a floss tube. Unfortunately, we got so caught up in our stitching, it never even crossed my mind. We are hoping this Saturday, just a few days from now, to make a trip up to Old Tattered Flag. So cross fingers, hopefully we can get a short video in and chat a little bit and show you possibly what we might have acquired there. And I will ask Julie and Carol if there's anything new going on we can share. And next, I would like to say hello and thank you to Lori, Textilist, as well as Olivia B, and thank them so much for all the awesome videos they've been putting out regarding fabric applique and their Blackbird design applique quilt along. It looks like so much fun. In fact, they have inspired me to give applique a try. Olivia presented the Applique method. I did not try that. I think basically because I was hesitant to invest in the materials if it's something I didn't like. So instead, I gave a try to needle turn. I went online and found a video from a gal by the name of Jan Paddock, P-A-T-E-K, and when I watched her videos, I felt that the stitching she was showing was very similar to the Maggie Bonomi way of doing wool applique. And so I thought to myself, this might be a quick and easy crossover for me. So here is the sample, if you want to say, trial piece. It was basically a heart that I had cut out from a pattern in one of the books, and I just used, you can kind of see, I just used some chalk to kind of measure it out. The chalk is way too thick, and so it was difficult to know where exactly the edge was to turn under. And so I went ahead and ordered from Amazon a Sew Line fabric pencil, which is supposed to be much thinner and give you a much more precise line. So I do need to give this a try. But for my trial piece, I basically just wanted to see if I could easily pick up the method of sewing, and quite honestly, it was quick and easy. This whole process, as far as sewing it around, probably took me 10 minutes and a few minutes to cut it out and trace it. So I found this extremely quick. It's possible that it might be a little bit more prim looking. I think the Applique method really creates a very sharp and precise border to your applique. So I don't know for sure. I'm certainly a novice at this. So chances are, as you get better, you probably can be just as precise with needle turn. But I did really enjoy it, and I think I'm going to give one of the Blackbird Designs fabric blocks a try, and we'll see how it goes. In addition, from Amazon, I picked up a tape maker set just because in the Blackbird Design quilting books, they talked about making bias strips or bias tape for the stems of their flowers, which they do a ton of. So I got this on Amazon. I think it was $5. You get a bunch of different sizes. I think this will do me good for what I'm intending. I don't know if it's totally precise. It's not in inches, it's in millimeters, so it's probably a few millimeters off, like ½ inch, ¼ inch, 1 inch type thing, but I'm okay with that. So I picked that up. Now I have a question. I had seen, I think it was on Jan Paddock's video, that she talked about using a number 11 milliner's needle. So I went on Amazon, obviously, and picked out a pack of needles. They are by Tulip. I don't know if you are familiar with tulip needles, but they are out of Japan. I love them for my cross stitch. They are my absolute favorite needle. So if you've never tried it, I do suggest giving them a try. But this time I ordered the number 11 applique needle. I haven't tried it yet, but when I took it out of the package, the needle is very fine, which I understand because you really don't want your threads to show with fabric applique. But my question is, the eye of the needle is minuscule. Even with my magnifying glasses, I feel like it's super small, and I'm thinking to myself, how am I ever going to get thread through the eye of that needle? So if anybody has any suggestions, was I completely on the wrong track purchasing these needles? Please let me know. I'm looking for some guidance regarding that because I am hoping to get going on a small fabric applique project. I really do still want to make a stitchy mat for the retreat. I was hoping I could have a little piece of fabric applique as part of that, but we'll see. I haven't even started, and I need to get a move on with that. Okay, so next thing I'd like to get to is to say a brief hello and thank you so much to Bonnie Log Cabin Stitcher. She has been showing some awesome finishes, some cross stitch, lots of wool applique, some quilting. If you haven't seen her most recent 2 or 3 videos, please go and watch. There's a ton of eye candy. She has finished a bunch of stuff, and it's very inspiring. So thank you so much, Bonnie, for continuing on the Wool Along Friends. It's been fabulous, and I do have a wool finish to show you guys today, but I want to mention a couple more people. One is Kathy L. She was so generous to email me and send me photographs of her stitchy mat that she created. It gave me a ton of ideas. She also created with it a needle book, I think one of those thread collectors, and she also made this awesome tray. She used the top of one of those round paper mache boxes, and she covered it in some beautiful kind of prim antique looking scrapbooking paper, and she used it as a sewing tray and put all her little threads, needles, scissors, etc. on this tray, and it just looked fabulous. So another fantastic idea. Next, I'd like to say hello to Teresa. She is local to me. She sent me a message through Instagram and said she was inspired by my video and was heading up to Hobby House. So Teresa, I hope you had a wonderful time, and please let me know all the wonderful things you purchased while there. Next, I'd like to say hello to Judy. She is out in New Hartford, which also is local to me, and I'm hoping one of these days, Judy, we can get together, maybe with a group of people in the area and do some stitching. Next is Christine, who mentioned that she is just outside of Rochester, had not known about Hobby House, and so I'm hoping she will take some time to head over there because I think she'll enjoy it greatly. And then a big hello to Judith, who states Hobby House is her LNS, which is awesome. I did mention in the video that they are thinking about doing Saturday stitch-ins, so I'm kind of hoping that maybe at some point I can meet Judith. Judith, I'm going to be putting my email in the drop-down box of this video, so please email me, and maybe we can set up a time sometime this fall to meet at Hobby House on a Saturday and stitch together. And then the last person I'd like to say a big hello to is Meg, who has contacted me regarding needle turn applique. She was the one who kind of inspired me to give it a try, and I want to thank Meg very much for that. She's been a very fabulous and sweet stitchy friend. Speaking of stitchy friends, I have to mention Kathy with a K. The Kathy L was with a C, by the way. Kathy A is with a K, and she sent me the most wonderful stitchy kindness. I'm just going to show you the beauty that she sent me. First was an awesome card, and the word enjoy here is actually magnetic, so you can take it off the card and like put it on your fridge or something metal because it's actually magnetic. Is that the cutest thing or what? I just love it. Fabulous, Kathy. She also sent me some gorgeous bee-themed needle minders by Artiste. Look at how cute those are. absolutely fabulous. Then she sent me a bee-themed corner gauge, so cute, again by Artiste, so adorable, love it, love it. She sent me a pack of these delicious wools. I have to say, green is my favorite color, period. Red is a close second, but I love greens. Oh my gosh, these are just this mustard. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Kathy. That is not it. She also sent me this awesome kit by Lily Anna Stitches. It's called St. Nicholas Mini Mat. And look at that old-fashioned Santa on that mat. And look at the wool. Holy guacamole. This will definitely be one of my holiday stitches this year as we get closer to Christmas. That is out of this world. Oops. And then she sent me a bunch of patterns. I just love this. This one's by Pineberry Lane. Let me move this here. This is by Pineberry Lane. This is called Flory Hollins, 1888. And it's a beautiful red sampler. And she sent along this awesome variegated DMC number 115. I saw somebody else stitching with this. I can't remember who. And I was enamored with it. I love the variegation on it, and was planning next time I was at like Joann's or Hobby Lobby to pick some up, and sure enough, here it came. So won't that look awesome together? Oh my goodness, loving it, loving it. And then she sent me a fabulous Maggie Bononomy pattern called Old Settlement Wool Applique Runner. Look at that, guys, look at that. I cannot wait to dive into that pattern. And then she sent me another cross-stitch pattern. I don't think I've ever seen anybody show this one. This is called Lancaster County 1859. And believe it or not, I spent 3 years living in Lancaster County during my training, and loved it down there. Just loved it down there. So I cannot wait to stitch this. It is super prim, which is right up my alley. And guess what? She sent me the fabric and the threads. Holy moly. Loving it, loving it. Kathy, you're a dream. And then look at this, called Glory Be by Maggie Bononomy. Look at that patriotic wool applique. I think possibly Carol Selbox might have done this, or is one of her whips. This is out of this world, out of this world. And yes, there is one more. This is Strawberry Thief, which I think Carol just finished. Wool applique by Maggie Bononomy. And this big huge pile that I have over here of all these gorgeous wools are waiting for me to cut them out. I have chosen, oops, if I can get them all, I have chosen lots of beautiful wools for this pattern. Here is the black background. This black, by the way, was from a blazer that I repurposed. It was a 100% wool blazer. Here are some of the reds that I've chosen for the flowers, which are going to look gorgeous. And for the stems, I'm actually going to do a variety of greens. The pattern shows just one green that I think was hand dyed, so it does have some variegation. But I thought to myself, why not do a variety? This is for there's a little heart on there. This is kind of a pear-colored, straw-colored type linen, or sorry, not linen, wool. So I have all my wools picked out for my stash, and as soon as I finish up these couple little projects I'm going to show you, I will be diving into Strawberry Thief, because I think that's absolutely fabulous. Okay, so let's see. Next, I would like to show you some FFOs. So because we were talking about wool, I'm going to start with my woolly FFO. It is out of Maggie Bononomy's Another Place in Time, and it is called Maggie's Wool Sampler. You have seen me working on this in the past, and I finally have it fully finished. I did leave an opening to put a dowel, and I used some of the fabric that I used for backing as kind of a hanger, so it looks nice and prim. And I'm going to try to step back so possibly you can see this, because it is very, very large. There we go. There we go. So look at that. I am so thrilled with this. When I placed the letters, I kind of didn't place them in exactly straight rows. I wanted it to be kind of a little wonky because I love the prim look to it. Maggie's way of stitching is kind of a little bit of a whip stitch, like I mentioned earlier. So her stitches generally kind of disappear into the wool, as opposed to Rebecca Smith, who does like to do the blanket or buttonhole stitch, which is a little bit more decorative. I like both looks, and I like using them both depending on what I'm doing. One thing that I hadn't noticed, which one of my Instagram friends noticed, is that I don't know my alphabet. I switched the J and the K. Yep, I hadn't realized it. I didn't take it off. I just went with it. Gives it a more folky look, I guess. I was kind of afraid to take it off because I use heat and bond, and I didn't know if it would leave any kind of residue. So I just said, heck, I'm just going to go with it. It's reversed. It's okay. And this beautiful backing fabric I got from a local quilt shop called Tiger Lily Quilts, and I just love the little print on it. It's kind of a gray on kind of a white or creamy white background, not a stark white background, but I think it complemented the utility cloth very, very well. So I'm thrilled to have that done. I normally do have it hanging actually right here on my wall. I just took it down so I could show you easier. So that's one FFO. Second, somebody asked, they had seen this in the background. I have showed this in the past. I'm just going to briefly show this. This is also out of Another Place in Time by Maggie Menonomy. It's a button pillow. This is linen. This is some fabric, and it's stuffed, believe it or not, with some old cotton t-shirts that I just cut up into strips and attached a bunch of buttons. I think it's just adorable. Love it, love it. So just thought I'd show that. I don't remember who had asked to see that again or had asked about it. Okay, I know I mentioned that I've done a little bit of quilting. I did finish my first quilt. It's actually at Tiger Lily Quilt Shops, being quilted now. When I get it back, obviously I have to bind it, and when it's a done project, I will be showing you. It's not by any means perfect, but I'm very thrilled and proud to have finished it. So I embarked quickly on a very small quilting project. This is called a Skinny 4-Patch Runner. It was a kit that I bought at Country Treasures in Brockport, New York for $9.99. Came with all these beautiful, I believe they're Joe Morton fabrics. I absolutely love them. I love the red, white, and blue theme to it. I do love Americana. And believe it or not, I finished this in 2 evenings from start to finish. This was very quick and very easy. And there's the back. Nothing hard about it. It was fabulous. So if anybody's out there looking to try quilting, call up Country Treasures and grab one of these kits for $9.99. You won't be sorry. She has a bunch of different colors, but it's really quick and really easy. So there you go. And then the last finish, which is not an FFO, but just a finish, is my cross-stitching finish. This is Grandmother's Garden. This is out of the Tending the Garden book. It's mainly a quilting book, but did have this one cross-stitching pattern in it. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to finish that. I did entertain the idea of using it as part of my stitchy mat, but I am not 100% on that. This is the book. It's called Tending the Garden. I originally bought this from Kitten Stitcher. I don't know if she still has them in stock. But that is where I got it, probably a year to 2 years ago. Here is the pattern. I decided not to put any names on the bottom. I just basically kept the pictorial, and I love it. I love it. The only change, everything was called for thread-wise. The fabric is 40 count Dixie Sampler Antique V-Skep, but I made the house the old red paint as opposed to the old purple paint. But everything was the called for. So love that finish. Let's see, what else do I want to show you? My whips. The first one is from the Ooh La La book, and I'm almost done stitching it, believe it or not. And it is called, of course it's French. I don't know any French, but it's called the Mon Petite Exemplar. I think possibly Carol's stitching this one. I do want to make it into that cute little ditty bag. I'm hoping to do that over the next few days. We'll see. Here is what I have so far. The bottom alphabet is kind of ghosty, but I do like that. This fabric is actually a very rough fabric, a rough linen. You can kind of see that. This is from Old Tattered Flag. I don't think it's really meant for cross stitch, but I said, what the heck, it looks primitive, I'm going to give it a try. It counts out to a 32 count, but I only did one strand. I like the coverage. Again, I'm prim and folky, but I like the coverage. I used a Victorian Motto sampler thread, sugar maple. And for the bottom, I just used the called for DMC, which, as I said, it is kind of ghosty, but I'm okay with that. And hoping to make this into that ditty bag. I've never done one before, but heck, we're going to give it a try. We're going to give it a try, ladies, and see how we come. Okay. Oh, I almost forgot. I do have a couple more finishes. I showed one of them on my my stitch along. This was a free pattern from Rebecca Smith. If you go to her blog, website blog, www.rebeccasmith.com, this is a free pattern. I think she calls it I can't remember, Christmas envelope, something along those lines. Again, quick and easy, took me a couple hours and it was done. You can use it to put flowers, gift cards, Stitchy accessories, all sorts of things. I mean, possibilities are endless. This one's more of a wintry kind of theme. So the next one I did actually is, I know it's red, but it's not really wintry. The inside fabric has branches with little nests and eggs in it. So it's more of a generic one, and it's a possibility I might do a few more of these. I really, really enjoy them. They were quick and fun. I just added a button and some ribbon for hanging. Very, very cute. So again, free pattern, free pattern. If you want to try some wool applique or just have a quick little project for a little gift, go for it. Definitely go for it. Okay, so getting to another whip. This was the one that Gail actually surprised me and brought for me. This is by Liberty Rose. It's called Baba Flag Sheep. And isn't that the cutest? It was a kit, had all the wool with it. Actually, this is wool felt. I've never worked with wool felt before, but the colors are beautiful and it stitches up very easily. And I have the bodies. You can see the bodies are the stars, which I have completed and have those stitched on. And then we have all stripes, and I have those stitched on. This does call for doing the blanket stitch, but for the inside applique, I decided to just do the Maggie method. It's possible I might do the blanket stitch on the outside. And then here's the one that's the little flag that I have done. So again, I just use the Maggie stitch for the inside, but when I attach it, I might do the buttonhole for the outside. I do have a question, hoping somebody out there might be able to help me. The background wool felt is a beautiful kind of army green. You can see that from here, but you can also see there's lots of fold marks on it. I have ironed it several times and I can't get the fold marks out. So if there's anybody out there who knows the trick on wool felt for getting these marks out, please let me know, because I'm at the point I want to attach it, but I don't really want to attach it until I get it flat. So please let me know, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody knows how to get those marks out. I would appreciate it. Okay, let me consult my paperwork because I don't want to forget anything. Next, I'm going to briefly share another collection I have. If you remember way at the beginning, I kind of determined between you and me that a collection was 3 items, and so I have another little collection. And this kind of harkens to Susan Stanley. Hi, Susan. Loved your last video with the wooden spools. It was absolutely fabulous. I'm going to add a little bit, not about wooden spools, but about my little collection, which kind of harkens to some historic needlework. And this is a collection of needle cases. And I actually looked up online some facts about needle cases. it stated that tubular bronze needle cases were common finds in Viking archaeologic digs in Europe. So they hearkened back to the Vikings. They also found cane needle cases in the graves in Peru from 1000 AD, believe it or not. And the indigenous people of the Arctic, Greenland, and Canada, called the Inuit people, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, made needle cases out of bone and ivory, often gifting from male to female, because the female's job apparently was to keep the clothing in good repair and make clothing, so they were always stitching up a storm. So I think that then led to the, over many, many years, led to the paper needle books that Susan collects, and also to our modern wooden needle cases, which I actually have one. Let me grab it. I thought I had gotten it out. Let me just grab it so I can show you. It's a more modern needle case. Here it is. Mine you unscrew and the inside is magnetized. So there's a more modern version. But let me show you the three in my little collection. This one I think I bought, I don't know, for 50 cents at an antique shop. It is a wooden one. It's very hard to read what it says on there, to be honest, because it's super faded. You can see that originally it was 29 cents. And basically you just pull it off and it's just made of wood, and you can store your needles in there. So that's one. The next one is kind of cool. It's made out of metal. It's kind of a greenish color with gold writing, and it says made expressly for the commissary division of the Panama Railroad. So look at that. Is that cool or not? And then it gives some instructions, and it's basically saying you're supposed to rotate this top. It kind of has this little, I don't know if you can see that, this little arrow, it's a metal arrow. You're supposed to rotate it and be able to shake needles out of it. But look at that tiny hole. There are needles in here. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. There are needles in here, but I can't imagine anything would shake out of that tiny little hole. But maybe it did work at some point. I don't know. But the last one is my absolute favorite, and this is also a little metal one that was covered with enamel. A lot of the enamel is coming off, but look at the part that's not coming off. Isn't that cool how that is kind of, I don't know, the variation in color. I'm not sure how they got that like that, but I think it's super cool. But the best part is when you open this one up, there's a little surprise inside. Look at this. Boop. Look at that. It's two little spools with black and white thread, which is very convenient, right? Black and white goes with everything. And then you pull off this little metal top, boop, and inside you can store your needles. Is that awesome or what? It's kind of like a little kit. So I think that is absolutely fabulous. Again, found at a local antique shop on one of their shelves. I don't know if I paid $5 or something, but that's my little collection. I've got 3 little antique needle cases. So Susan, check them out. Go to your local antique shop and look at all the little trinkets. They usually have them in like jewelry cases to look at all the trinkets, and you never know what you might find. Awesome. Awesome. So I think that brings me to the end of my video today. The very last thing I'd like to throw out there is I would like to continue to do some stitchy kindness. So if Cindy C Stitches and Kathy with a C, Kathy L, could please email me and send me their addresses, I would love to share some stitchy kindness. They are always commenting on my videos and supporting me, and I appreciate it tremendously. And I will continue to choose a couple people every video. Generally, I choose them from the previous video, from the comments, and so hopefully over time we will get around to lots and lots of people. So go ahead and email me, send me your addresses, and I'm going to send some stitchy kindness off your way. So everybody, I hope you have a fabulous week and a fabulous upcoming weekend. and hoping to get back to you soon. As I said, Gail and I are heading up to Old Tattered Flag, so her and I are hoping to maybe share a little bit of that trip with you, or at least what we purchased, and maybe some other surprises. We'll see. All right, guys, take care, be well, spread kindness, and I hope you get a lot of stitching time. Bye-bye, guys.